So if you watch the news, read the news, anything like that, you probably would have come to some kind of conclusion that video games, according to the media, can cause violence in people. It's not completely true. Most video games these days are actually not even violent. As a matter of fact, the most popular genre of video game in Australia right now are puzzle or maybe even simulation games. Yes, everybody thinks of the huge blockbuster games like Modern Warfare and Battlefield and that kind of things, these first-person shooters. And a lot of people do see those as kind of training modules. Facilities that allow people such as, you know, adolescent males, which is the stereotypical sort of view of the gamer in Australia today, to allow them to train themselves virtually on how to use, let's say, a sniper rifle or something like that. So there's a lot of people out there that sensationalize this kind of thing and think that, oh, because these guys are playing these games, because they're locking themselves up in the room for, you know, half an hour, hours and hours and hours, whatever, in their parents' basement for, you know, and learning how to use guns and things and propagating violence in that matter of fact. The problem is, as I said before, not all games are actually violent. Another thing, the stereotypical view of a gamer these days is just incorrect. 47% of gamers are female. This was mentioned in Stephen Harrington's Week 4 lecture. The average age of a gamer in Australia is 32. So yeah, they're not all these pimply little 17-year-old dudes in their mother's basement playing games anymore. The media loves to sensationalize new forms of media. They do it with music. I believe in week 1 or week 2, Stephen mentioned something about jazz coming out. And anyone that listened to that was satanic. Same thing with heavy metal. I mean, when the Beatles came out, everybody was saying how, you know, this is the devil's music, that kind of thing. But now we see it as a form of art. Another thing is that a lot of sort of horrible events in the past, i.e. Columbine, and more recently the Norway massacres, have been linked to video games. In both instances, the perpetrators of the crimes actually have been linked to playing either Counter-Strike, in Columbine's instance, or World of Warcraft. And despite both parties having completely different agendas, Anders Breivik was anti-Muslim, and the Columbine kids, well, they were just had a couple of screw-loose. Video games were tied to their acts of violence, and it really is horrible. Right now, though, there's a huge burgeoning industry around games. There's professionals that play games. There's guys that are earning hundreds of thousands of dollars playing games professionally, mainly in South Korea. And there's even guys commentating, much like I am to you right now, making heaps and heaps of money, donating to charities, all these kind of things. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Pretty much everybody's into it, and it's not going to cause everybody to go crazy and want to go curb stomping people all over the place. Just finishing up, what we as a society need to do is to take a step back from the media tells us. Acknowledge these ideas as a possibility, but take them with a grain of salt. Yes, certain individuals are always going to be predisposed to violence. They're always going to be 1 in a million chance of somebody going nuts, going on a shooting rampage and killing a whole bunch of people. But is it because of games? Is it because of film? Is it because of music? Is it because of books, holy text, these kind of things? We don't really know. What we need to do is just accept the media for what it is right now and hope that, well, something good really does come about.